Welcome to the Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. Today we are talking about everything from an FBI agent fired to a new way to test your risk for disease, plus Google tracking and the top colleges. Those stories and many more in less than 10 minutes. I'm Erica Mandy. Today is Tuesday, August 14th. You ready? Let's do this. Things are not looking so good for Turkey's economy right now, and the Turkish president is at least partly blaming the U.S. NPR reports he's even accusing the U.S. of stabbing its ally in the back. The AP reports there are several factors causing this economic crisis in Turkey, but a feud with the U.S. is at least one of them. The U.S. just put new sanctions on Turkey last week, and President Trump said he'll double the tariffs on Turkish steel and aluminum. Why? President Trump does not like that Turkey put an American pastor in jail and won't send him back. The currency there in Turkey, the Turkish lira, has dropped to a record low now. Some investors are worried about the possible impact on markets around the world. So stay tuned. An FBI agent is having to leave the FBI for text messages about the president. The Washington Post reports he just got officially fired. The messages criticized Trump, which was not a great idea since that FBI agent was working on the investigation into the Trump campaign, the one that's still going on now. If this all sounds familiar, we have talked about this before. An audit last year found FBI agent Peter Strzok sent the anti-Trump messages to another FBI official. President Trump has said it shows people working on the Russia investigation have political bias. But others say the investigation is a lot bigger than just one agent. And the agent himself has said under oath he never let personal opinions impact his work at the FBI. Military service members are set to get a pay raise, the biggest pay raise in 9 years at 2.6%. That was part of a defense bill President Trump signed yesterday. But there was something else about that signing ceremony that stood out. The president snubbed the well-known senator the bill is named after, Senator John McCain. He is now battling brain cancer. Well, USA Today reports President Trump never mentioned McCain's name. He even skipped over it when reading the name of the bill. Both men are Republicans, but the two have not gotten along for a while now. Voters in Connecticut, Minnesota, Vermont, and Wisconsin will be heading to the polls today to decide the nominees in several primary races. There are some competitive races, like the one for governor in Connecticut, and a few making history, like the first transgender woman running for governor in Vermont. You can read more about all of today's races or learn more about the primaries in your state by finding today's episode on thenewsworthy.com. You'll see links to all the info. Parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York are dealing with some serious flooding right now, and AccuWeather reports they may see more rain today. The floods have already impacted homes and highways and even caused some evacuations and rescues. Several media reports are saying the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, is gravely ill and is in hospice care. CNN says she's dealt with health issues in recent years, but has stayed pretty private about it. She's now getting lots of love and support sent her way. Billboard says Beyonce and Jay-Z thanked her for all the beautiful music. Aretha Franklin is 76 years old. There's a new tool that could tell you if you're at a higher risk than the average person for some serious diseases. Think heart disease, breast cancer, type 2 diabetes, and more. One expert told NBC News that in 5 years, you'll know that risk number as well as you know your cholesterol. Researchers at the Broad Institute and Harvard say they calculate your number by analyzing millions of small genetic variations in your DNA. And get this, it just takes a cheek swab to test. The researchers are now apparently building a website where you can upload data from genetic testing at companies like 23andMe or Ancestry.com and then find your risk score. Why do it? The hope, at least, is that it gives people a chance to take action to prevent certain diseases with things like exercise or even meds. For the first time ever, the FDA has approved an app as a form of contraception. Yes, a smartphone app. The company calls itself Digital Birth Control. The app is called Natural Cycles. It uses body temperature to figure out when a woman is most fertile. So there's no medicine or anything. The woman just takes her temperature, enters it into the app, and she gets a green or red light. But there are plenty of critics out there. The app was first approved in Europe last year, and now Sweden is investigating the company's marketing claims. Vice News reports the investigation's results are expected to be released next month. Google keeps track of where you go even when you've said not to. That's at least what a new AP report found, and the AP had researchers at Princeton University check these findings out. So here's the deal. On Google Maps, for example, Google often asks you to use your location info and can even show you a timeline of where you've gone. But you can also choose to pause that feature called location history. Google apparently says it will stop remembering where you go, but the AP says not true. Time-stamped location data can still be stored. Google says it's perfectly clear about how these apps work, and it only uses locations when it's helping better your experience with these apps, like when you need to drive with the Maps app. And you can delete activity and location histories at any time. But the AP says deleting it all is a one-at-a-time, tedious process. You can actually go to myactivity.google.com to see what Google has stored about you. Cell phones are banned in the classroom, at least in France. It's a countrywide ban on smartphones for students under 15 years old. The Wall Street Journal says the French parliament passed the law just last month. The country's education minister says it's because they're just too distracting during class. It's also because of worries smartphones and apps are too addictive, especially for kids. The ban goes into effect when students head back to school there next month. All right, so what's the best college for your money here in the U.S.? Money Magazine has come out with that list. It looked at everything from graduation rates and the student-teacher ratio to tuition costs and alumni's early career salaries. 26 data points in all. So the top spot out of 727 U.S. colleges goes to Princeton University. University of California took the next 3 spots, with UC San Diego coming in second, then UC Irvine, then UCLA. Stanford came in 5th. I'll link to the full list in today's show notes. And that's it. You are all caught up. As always, if you want to read more about any of the news stories we talked about, just check out today's show notes. You can find them at thenewsworthy.com. Click episodes and find today's date. The Newsworthy is ready for you to listen every weekday by 4 in the morning. So I'll be back with more news tomorrow. Have a great day.